Hi, I'm Daisy. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will be showing you how to make these pretty earrings. I loved it so much, so I made another pair in white and black. You can use any pearl or bead that you have in your house, or even little charms. I will be using anchor pearl cotton thread along with an 85 mm hook. I'm sorry, 0.85 mm hook. And you will need the following jewelry findings: 2 fish hooks or any other hook of your liking, 2 beads. I have these little jingles that I have left over from my Christmas items, and 2 jump rings. Let's begin. Start with a chain 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and slip stitch into the very first chain. Let me get these earrings out of the frame because my camera is auto-focusing on these earrings. I think that's better. So the first ring we formed with a chain 7 and a slip stitch. So for row 1, begin with a chain 3. One, 2 and 3, and make 11 double crochet. While working this row, I like to work over the tail so that I don't have to sew the ends later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Let me just count that to make sure I have it right. So here's the first chain 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, it's right. 11 DC. And slip stitch. And for row 2, begin with a chain 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5. For the rest of the row, I'll be making a double crochet and chain 2. So this is the very first stitch into which we slip stitch. you want to skip that and go into the next stitch and make a double crochet and chain 2, double crochet and chain 2, double crochet and chain 2, double crochet, 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 chain 2, double crochet and chain 2. So here's the very first chain 5 that we made. So that chain 5 forms the DC plus chain 2. So 3 chains for the DC and chain 2. Now you just want to slip stitch into that chain space. So if you count, you should have 12 chain 2 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have that right. So let's go on to row 3. Row 3 is going to be like this. At the beginning of the row, let me show you one of the earrings first. So this is the row in which we'll be making these clusters. So the very first stitch, the clusters are actually DC3 together, but the very first cluster would be a chain 2 and a DC2 together. So let's do that. So chain 2 and DC2 together. If you're not familiar with the basic crochet stitches, do head over to my basic crochet playlist. I'll leave the link in the description. So once the first cluster is over, I'm going to make a chain 3, 2, 3, and in each of the remaining spaces I'm going to make a DC3 together. Please remember, only the beginning cluster will have a DC2 together, so the chain 2 would replace the first DC. So I've made my second cluster and a chain 3. Oops. One, 2, and 3. One, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And pull through all the loops together. 1, 2, 3, chain 3. 1, 2, and 3, and pull through together. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, chain 3, 1, 1, 2 and 3. Pull it all together, chain 3 and slip stitch into the top of the very first cluster that we made. So you can stop at this point if you want. You will get something that looks like this earring. I will insert a picture here. So I made these red earrings. It's almost the exact same pattern. So for these earrings we're going to make one more row. So the fourth row is going to be chain 1, and now in each of the next 5 chain 2 spaces we will make 5 single crochet. So please count the spaces and clusters you have. You should have 12 clusters and 12 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, because the number of stitches in this row is very important. If you do not have the right number of spaces, then you're going to have a problem. There is no way you'll be able to correct it. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So for my gauge and my tension, I need 5 single crochet in each of the chain spaces. But if you feel like your stitches are turning out bigger, you can stop 4 single crochet if that works for you. But for me, I find 5 to be perfect. So this is the third set. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So we've made these single crochets in 5 chain spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now in the 6th chain space we will be forming this little piece that's sticking out on both, on the top and the bottom. Excuse me. So that would be a 2 DC, 1, 2, chain 2 and 2 DC. So it's basically a shell stitch So I'm making 2 DC chain to 2 DC all in the same chain space. So now we're going to repeat this again on this half. So in the next 5 chain spaces we will make 5 single crochet each, and then in the last chain space we will make a shell stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in the next 5 chain spaces I've made 5 single crochet each, and you should be left with one last chain space. So in that last chain space I'll be making another shell stitch, which is 2 DC, 1, 2, chain 2, and 2 DC. Now we can slip stitch into the very first single crochet we made in this row, and we have the basic shape ready. Let me cut the tail. Let's trim the first tail. Be careful when you're cutting, you don't want to cut the piece. I'm gonna use my sewing needle to sew in the excess tail. You want to make sure the needle is small enough so that it goes through the stitches, but not so small that the thread doesn't go through it, the eye. I'm just gonna go here once. Then make a little knot after I pass through this. So I've passed through this over here. I'm going to I know it's a little hard to pass the needle through the stitches, but it's okay because I will anyway be blocking the earring with some glue. So because we're using glue to block the earring, it will make sure the tails are stuck together. It will not unravel. So let me cut that extra tail. Let's get this out of the way. I've made the second one off camera. It takes less than 20 minutes, maybe 15 to 16 minutes to make one. So I'm gonna be adding my beads now. So depending on how soft or hard your jump loops are, jump rings are, you might need pliers or even a ring opener. I don't have a ring opener, so I'm using this ring base, which works up pretty much the same. So I'm gonna take my flat nose pliers and use it to open the jump ring as much as I want. It has opened here. I'm going to take one of the beads and put it onto the jump ring, and then take one of the earrings, and I'm going to add the jump ring to one of the shell stitches over here. So using the same method, I'm going to close the jump ring, make sure it's secure and there are no gaps. Let's repeat that on side number 2. So if you do not have a jump ring opener or a ring base, you can even use 2 pliers. This gets a lot more complicated when I'm trying to do it with my phone between my work and my face. So let's add the jingle. I don't know if you can hear it. Now add the crochet piece to it, and then close the jump ring. Make sure that it is secure. So that is the bead, and I will be adding these fish hoops. I'm gonna open this ring or this loop. Make sure you have the right side. So since the back of the hoop is facing me, I'm making sure I'm adding the back of the work. I can see the back. So the back and the back are aligned, so that when you put it up straight, you have the front facing you. Ensure that loop is tight. Closed properly is what I meant. I'm sorry. Let's repeat that in case you did not see it properly the first time. So I've opened that loop, and since I have the back of the fish hook facing me, I'm going to take the back of the piece. Place the piece like this so that the back is facing me, and just add it onto the loop through the chain to space. So that was the shell. Now close that loop, make sure it's closed properly, and here are the finished earrings. So I will be blocking these earrings for sure, because if you try to wear them without blocking it, the once it hangs for a few minutes, it tends to curl up like this. It will not retain its shape. So it's better to block it so that it retains its shape like this. So for blocking, I use a solution of PVA glue and water. So equal amounts of PVA glue and water. And I just soak it, let them soak right through. So I pin it to the mat first and then soak it. I will show you that in one of the other videos. Maybe I'll do a separate video to show you how to do that. But this is the basic earring. Maybe I'll do a couple more earrings and block them all together so that I'm not wasting my PVA glue solution. But that's about it. So this is how you make these earrings. I will see you, I'll see you in the next video where I will show you another earring and then we can block them all together. So if this is your first time in this channel, do subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss all the great free content. There's lots of patterns that I've planned for next year. I will see you in the next video. If you make these earrings, do make sure that you share them on Instagram and tag me. So my handle is Made with Love by Daisy. You can see the link in the description box. So that's it for now. I'll see you soon. Bye. Happy hooking.